Yeah.
Good morning, everyone. I am James Browning, Associate Director for Development for Common Cause Pennsylvania. We are here today for the release of the Common Cause Education Fund study of gaming contributions to elected officials and political committees in Pennsylvania from 2001 to 2008. We found $4.4 million coming in from gaming interests. That includes donors with an ownership stake in one of the 14 licensed gaming facilities in Pennsylvania. It includes donors with ties to out-of-state casinos, slot machine manufacturers, horse racing associations, and others who are in the business of organized gambling. The state right now is completely exposed to the influence and the potential corruption that comes from these huge campaign contributions. Pennsylvania is one of the few states that does not limit campaign contributions in any way, and in April, the state Supreme Court threw out a ban on contributions from donors with a financial stake in a casino. This means that since that April decision, these donors can now have a blank check. They can give as much as they want to anyone they want to pursue their agenda of expanding gambling. This could mean table games in casinos. This could mean video poker machines in bars, restaurants, in neighborhoods. It could transform really the culture of the whole state. And the tragedy is that those votes, those decisions may be taken before the public knows who's behind all of this, knows how much money is coming in from which donors and which elected officials are getting it. And if there's undue influence here that's being bought and gained by all these contributions, we're not going to know. And it's going to change people's lives. It's going to change the whole state. That is why Common Cause is calling on all elected officials receiving gaming contributions since that April Supreme Court decision to voluntarily disclose those contributions before they act on expanding gambling for the state. A few other highlights of our report, and then I want to turn it over to my colleagues here. The state also had they had no contribution limits. The state had no requirement for lobbyists to report their expenditures between 2002 and 2007. I mean, that really enabled the industry to mount a massive, sustained campaign with relatively little scrutiny. The final point I want to make about this report is that both the campaign finance database for the state and for the city of Philadelphia are not user-friendly. It is very hard for a concerned citizen, an activist, a member of the media to get a really complete picture of what is going on because the information given out is not searchable and not sortable. The state needs to update it. So, what might take an activist in New York or Maryland with a better database an hour to do doesn't take 20 or 50 hours in Pennsylvania. Now, briefly, our recommendations that you'll see at the end of this report are clearly the state needs contribution limits, not just on people with ties to gambling, but on everyone, because a big check is a big check and has the potential to corrupt an elected official, whether or not it's from the gaming industry, whether or not it's from an industry that has historically ties to organized crime. We also recommend more frequent disclosure of campaign contributions in non-election years. That would be done quarterly. To repeat, we're also asking elected officials to voluntarily disclose those gaming contributions that they may be getting right now because there's no longer a ban. And finally, 3 of the top 21 recipients of gaming contributions that we found have been members of the state Supreme Court. Now, I think here is where there's an opportunity to think about how to protect the judicial system from the undue influence of campaign contributions. It's time for the state to move to a system of merit selection, so there is no possibility of any judge being influenced or corrupted by any contribution, not just gambling contributions. So with that, I'd like to turn it over to Paul Bonney from Casino Free Philadelphia.